If you depend on Social Security, there's one small change coming in 2026 that could quietly affect how much money ends up in your monthly payment, and most people haven't heard about it yet. It's not a benefit cut, it's not a major reform bill, it's something much smaller than that. But for millions of retirees living on fixed income, even a small adjustment in how benefits are calculated or updated can make a real difference over the course of a year. Think about it this way. When your monthly budget is built around a predictable deposit from Social Security, even a change of $20 or $30 can affect groceries, prescriptions, utilities, or savings. That's why understanding how your 2026 benefit is being calculated matters more than ever. Before we go further, if you rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or any federal retirement benefit, make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is where we break down complicated updates into simple, clear explanations so you always know what's happening with your income. Now let's talk about what's actually changing. Social Security benefits don't just increase randomly each year. They follow a formula, a very specific formula, tied to inflation, lifetime earnings, and the age when you claim benefits. In 2026, the expected cost of living adjustment, or COLA, is currently projected to land somewhere between about 2.4% and 2.8%, based on inflation trends from the Consumer Price Index. That might sound small compared to the larger COLA increases people saw in recent years. In 2022, the increase was 5.9%. In 2023, it was 8.7%, the largest in decades. In 2024, it dropped to 3.2%, and in 2025 it settled around the mid-2% range again as inflation cooled, so for 2026 we're likely looking at a modest increase. But here's where the small change comes in and why it matters. Your actual payment in 2026 won't depend only on the COLA percentage. It will depend on whether your Social Security earnings record is accurate, how Medicare premiums adjust, and how benefit calculations interact with inflation indexing rules that most people never see. This is the part that surprises many retirees. Every Social Security benefit starts with something called your lifetime earnings record. The Social Security Administration tracks the income you earned during your working years and uses your highest 35 years of earnings to calculate your benefit amount. If even 1 year of earnings is missing or reported incorrectly, your monthly benefit could be lower than it should be, permanently. And many retirees don't realize this until years after they start receiving payments. In fact, SSA audits over the past decade have found thousands of cases where earnings records were incomplete because of employer reporting errors, name changes, self-employment reporting issues, or simple data entry mistakes. Most of those errors were small individually, but over time they added up. Now combine that with a modest COLA year like 2026, and the impact becomes more noticeable. When increases are smaller, accuracy matters more. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine a retiree receiving $1,820 per month in Social Security benefits in 2025. If the COLA for 2026 is about 2.6%, that would increase the monthly payment by roughly 40 centavos, bringing the benefit to about $1,160 per month before deductions. That sounds straightforward. But if the earnings record used to calculate that benefit is missing even one moderate income work year from decades ago, the correct monthly payment might actually be closer to $1,910 instead of $1,060. That's more than a $500 difference per year, caused by something many people never check. And that's why this small change conversation matters right now. The Social Security system itself is not changing dramatically in 2026. Benefits are still being paid. COLA adjustments are still happening. Payment schedules remain consistent. But the way your individual benefit is calculated continues to depend on details that can easily be overlooked. Another factor influencing 2026 payments is the gradual normalization of inflation. During the inflation spike earlier in the decade, COLA increases were unusually large. Now that inflation is stabilizing closer to historical averages, COLA adjustments are smaller again, which means net payment changes feel smaller too. For retirees who became used to larger increases during high inflation years, a smaller COLA can feel like a loss even when benefits are technically rising. And this is where understanding the system protects you from unnecessary worry. Social Security is designed to adjust benefits over time to maintain purchasing power, not to provide large year-to-year income jumps. The program's formula focuses on long-term stability rather than short-term changes. Still, there's another layer to the 2026 payment picture that many seniors don't realize: timing. Not timing in terms of when you receive your monthly deposit, but timing related to when benefits were claimed and how those decisions continue to affect payments every year afterward. Claiming benefits at age 62 permanently reduces monthly payments compared to waiting until full retirement age. Waiting beyond full retirement age increases benefits through delayed retirement credits. Those choices continue to influence every COLA increase that follows. So when COLA is applied in 2026, it's applied to your existing benefit level, whatever that level is based on your claiming age and earnings record. That means two retirees receiving COLA increases in the same year can see very different dollar increases, even with the same percentage adjustment. For example, someone receiving $1,200 per month might see about a $31 increase with a 2.6% COLA, while someone receiving $12,400 per month would see about a $62 increase. Same percentage, very different outcome. This is why small structural factors inside Social Security calculations matter so much more than headlines about percentage increases. And in 2026, another subtle shift is happening behind the scenes: updated wage indexing values used in benefit calculations for new retirees. These indexing adjustments reflect national wage growth and influence how future benefits are calculated for people just entering retirement. Most current retirees won't notice this directly, but it's part of the same system that determines how benefits evolve over time. The key idea to remember is simple. Your Social Security payment in 2026 is not determined by just one number. It's the result of several moving parts working together: inflation adjustments, lifetime earnings history, claiming age decisions, and Medicare premium deductions. When everything is accurate and working correctly, benefits arrive predictably and reliably. When something is off, even slightly, the difference can follow you for years. And that's exactly why understanding how benefits are calculated is one of the most important financial protections retirees have. Social Security starts with your lifetime earnings. Every year you worked and paid Social Security taxes, that income was recorded by the Social Security Administration. Those earnings are then adjusted for inflation using something called wage indexing, which makes income from decades ago comparable to income today. After that, Social Security selects your highest 35 earning years. Not 20 years, not 30 years, exactly 35. If you worked fewer than 35 years, the missing years are counted as zeros, which lowers the average. Those 35 years are averaged together to create what's called your average indexed monthly earnings, or AME. Think of AME as the foundation of your benefit calculation. From there, Social Security applies a formula using what are called bend points. These bend points determine how much of your average earnings become your monthly retirement benefit. For 2026, the bend points will likely be close to the 2025 levels, adjusted slightly for wage growth. The formula works roughly like this: Social Security replaces a higher percentage of lower earnings and a smaller percentage of higher earnings. That's why the program is designed to protect lower income workers. Here's a simplified example. The formula might replace about 90% of the first portion of your average earnings, 32% of the next portion, and 15% of the remaining portion. When those pieces are added together, the result is called your primary insurance amount, or PIA. That's the monthly benefit you would receive at full retirement age. For most retirees today, full retirement age is 67. Now here's where timing becomes important again. If someone claims benefits early at age 62, their monthly payment can be reduced by roughly 30% compared to full retirement age. If they wait beyond full retirement age, benefits grow by about 8% per year until age 70. This creates a permanent difference in monthly income. Let's look at 3 realistic examples for 2026. Imagine a worker named Robert who qualifies for a full retirement age benefit of $2,000 per month. If Robert claims at 62, his payment might drop to around $1,400 per month. If he claims at 67, he receives the full $2,000. If he waits until age 70, his benefit could grow to roughly $2,280 per month. That difference continues for life, and every future COLA increase is based on those amounts. So when the 2026 COLA adjustment arrives, it's applied to whatever benefit level a retiree already has. That's why 2 people can hear the same COLA announcement, but experience very different changes in their bank accounts. Now let's talk about maximum benefits, because many viewers ask about this. In 2026, the maximum Social Security retirement benefit is expected to land somewhere around $3,900 to just over $4,000 per month for someone retiring at full retirement age after a high-earning career. For those who delay until age 70, the maximum monthly benefit could be closer to $4,900 depending on wage indexing updates. Very few retirees receive the maximum benefit, but these numbers show how the formula scales with earnings and timing. For the average retiree, monthly benefits remain much lower. The typical Social Security retirement benefit in 2025 has been around $1,900 per month, and in 2026, that average could move closer to the mid-$1,900 range, depending on the final COLA. And this brings us back to the small change that can make a bigger difference than people expect. Accuracy. Your earnings record determines your AIMA. Your AIME determines your PIA. Your PIA determines your monthly payment. And your monthly payment determines how much COLA adds each year. One small correction early in that chain affects everything that follows. Let's say a retiree discovers that a $28,000 income year from the late 1980s was never recorded properly. After correction, their monthly benefit increases by $18. That may not sound dramatic at first, but over 1 year that's $216. Over 10 years that's $2,260. And every COLA increase going forward applies to the higher amount. That's how small adjustments become meaningful over time. Another factor influencing the real amount seniors receive is Medicare. Most retirees have Medicare Part B premiums deducted directly from their Social Security payment. When Medicare premiums rise, they can offset part of a COLA increase. When premiums stay stable, retirees feel more of the COLA in their monthly deposit. Early projections suggest Medicare Part B premiums in 2026 may rise modestly, but not dramatically compared to past increases. That means many retirees should still see a net increase in their payments, just not a large one. This combination of smaller COLA adjustments, stable inflation, and accurate earnings records is why 2026 is shaping up to be a year where details matter more than headlines. The system itself isn't shrinking, payments aren't disappearing, but the difference between what someone expects and what actually arrives often comes down to the formula behind the scenes, and that's the part many people never get explained. Social Security was designed to be predictable. Once benefits begin, the structure remains stable. Changes tend to be gradual rather than sudden. That's why even small improvements in understanding the system can protect financial security for years. When retirees understand how their benefit is built, from earnings history to claiming age, they gain something incredibly valuable: clarity. And clarity reduces fear. Because when you know how your payment is calculated, you can recognize the difference between a normal adjustment and a real problem. You can also make better decisions about timing, budgeting, and verifying your records. The important thing to remember is this: Social Security payments in 2026 will continue to follow the same core formula that has supported retirees for decades. The structure remains stable, the adjustments are incremental, and the system continues to deliver monthly income to millions of Americans. Understanding that formula is what turns uncertainty into confidence. And once you see how these calculations work, it becomes much easier to understand how COLA increases, Medicare deductions, and payment schedules will shape what actually shows up in your bank account in 2026.